Does that mean he also invented the internet?
The algorithm.
I don't think he invented the algorithm.
He did, okay. I just want to clear that up.
Name that.
Which came first, the algorithm or Al Gore? Anyway.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
You mean that didn't have sufficient gravity?
I thought you were going to blow me over the top.
No, I mean, that's not sufficiently great to continue the conversation. I understood I lost you, but anyway, I'll move on to something kind of.
Can I ask you a different kind of a question? Because before we run out of time, I'm curious about something. I think it's been a very productive exchange. I think we've all learned a lot. I'd like to hope that it's had some benefit for you as participants, as a panel. When I talked to Ian a little while back, I said, well, isn't there a networking group for technology in Wilmington? I've been here 4 years, so I'm relatively newcomer. Plus, I'm not day-to-day in technology the way I would have been some years back. And he said, oh, that's been tried half a dozen times, and it never worked. Just get started and it blows up. And let's say you agree or disagree. I'm interested in hearing another comment, but let me come to a point, which is that here we are, this Economic Development Council. We have a lot of things that we specialize in. We try to move the agenda around with a lot of different topics. Is there a way that technology should be an ongoing subset or like a key component of EDC that comes together periodically or somehow facilitates the stuff that you guys are concerned about?
For me, I would say, and this was, we almost touched on it a minute ago, our biggest problem here is we have every intention to try to hire people down here, keep it local, and we have people working, in Kiev for us. So, it is very hard to find the right staff, and I don't know if it's partly infrastructure that people jump out of school and head to Raleigh or Charlotte or wherever, or...
I think I heard this from one of you two, or we were talking about, this was a comment particularly about the computer science at UNCW, and that is if you're going to go get a degree in this thing, invariably you're going to get some job, enterprise, whatever, J2E. You get out, you're going to stay here with that. What you going to do with that everywhere, right? You want, PHP, people are going to go to work with web technologies. That's what database, web, LAMP, right? Let's get LAMP. No one's learning LAMP in school. I'm sorry, I don't want to get all.
Everyone we've had, another story, we had one of our greatest guys that graduated high school when he was 15, and we had him working for us out of Charlotte, and obviously we did not learn that in high school, but we were some of our best programmers.
Right.
He's 16 now. Yeah, most people are self-taught.
And he doesn't want to go to the beach?
He's got 16. Is that all that?
Like if you go to NC State and you get a degree in computer science, and let's say you wanted to stay there, you could get out of that degree and you could go do the things that you learned in school. And I think we're trying to get things that are particular about this region. You just are not going to get out of UNCW having studied computers and then go practice what you learned at UNCW. And
getting to what he's speaking, and maybe this is just my perspective, I think it's not apparent that the opportunities are here necessarily.
Well, I would say, like, one thing would be a tech job in one place. I mean, we do crazy. I mean, it's kind of similar.
We build relationships with the computer science department at NCW. We run the job board, list it with it. Yeah, there's not one.
A lot of it about being in the curriculum, we have best developers here, you have film student, that's the people who are the star developers didn't learn it in school.
That's not just UNCW's program, that's universities all around the
But that's a big opportunity. I mean, that's a huge opportunity that, UNCW could be.
One of the things that's come up multiple times in this forum is the disconnect between the university and the community. And it sounds like you just highlighted another disconnect between what the university is doing and the local community.
You just been defensive.
No, I've never actually. No, but I think that's one of those things. There's a huge opportunity at the moment. There's a new chancellor. There's a new opportunity to help the university think about how to connect to the community. And that's an opportunity not to lose.
And that's kind of the idea that Larry Clark and I have been kicking around is, UNCW's only presence downtown is between 12 and 2 a.m. And so how do we get them to hang this shingle down here and establish a presence?
Even then, they won't send a bus.
Right. And so how do we get them to lay down stakes in downtown and be a part of the ecosystem that is, we're trying to
Why
foster?
doesn't the business school have business incubation down there?
Yeah, I've literally taken Jonathan Rowe, Frank Scarlett, and Larry Clark through buildings.
There's no commercial vacancies.
It's too much.
So I think that's, so we're making statements about particular question, which is what sort of jobs in computer science might you do. But another one is, that's a statement about technology that I think many of us have said, and that is that the technologies that people use big time now are not those technologies that were used in another generation. Enterprise technologies. Enterprises, yeah, enterprises.
Not just UNCW, but
yeah. But you can build digital effects on. Well, so technologies that are considered still, sort of hobby technologies or scripting and sort of stuff. That's doing a lot of the work that we know as the services that we're all considering. Facebook's built out of some hobby technologies, and all the things you named that are doing this incredible thing, cloud services, all that. At least it's front end, it's like these script technologies.
But back to the university relationship, it could be something that could be really strengthened. Having UNCW, which is a really good school here, is a great asset that's not being exploited. But when I moved DigiFix here 4 years ago, I was literally 3 weeks away from a business trip to India to set up our web development, our graphic design, our programming, everything. And I happened to have lunch with some professors from computer science and film studies program. We make special effects software, so we're kind of computer science, we're kind of film, sort of hybrid. And I told them about my plan to go to India, and they were shocked and dismayed. They wanted to try using our kids, and I ended up canceling the trip. And fast forward, everyone that we've been working with is from that program. On the film studies side, it's been great. I've gotten lots of great people there, but on the computer science side, hasn't really panned out. I think UNCW could, I had to go to them, but it seems like UNCW would want to meet with every new business that moves here.
I'll tell you about the technology. We use interns. We've used marketing interns from UNCW this summer. We used a marketing intern from Ithaca College, NC State, and Pensacola Christian College. And literally 4 weeks of, this is how you use Facebook. They all got on Facebook, went to college, and their college professors scared the hell out of them that said, careful what you put on Facebook, it's going to hurt your ability to get a job. And so they hadn't really explored the power and influence of the technology. But then we went and taught them how to use Constant Contact, which is our email campaign. And it was like the light came on. It was like, there's all this opportunity. And I said, well, now you have a marketable skill that is better than all your other graduates are going to have, because you're going to go back to school and you're going to tell your marketing professors, I got to use this thing called Constant Contact. And they don't have, they're not even using the things that business community is using. And everybody, the grandmother now has an e-blast.
Well, this has gotten wildly off topic.
Yeah, and that's,
Yeah. So what we can do
Get back to the topic for a moment. just one brief observation regarding how Wilmington doing tech-wise, and going back to the issue of bandwidth. It occurs to me that there might be a slight danger in the idea that somehow bandwidth is a metaphor for progress. And as an architect, someone who really, my interaction with technology is really as an end user in CAD applications, that sort of thing. I don't see myself suddenly overnight becoming a programmer, So I'm a little bit detached from the conversation in that regard, as much as I would like to have a light go on.
I think Stuart's comment about how, where does this stuff matters as a consumer, just like, Apple, they do these, it just seems so perfectly realized. And the same thing is true of infrastructure. If you get that infrastructure down, it would, and even consumers would say, man, this car drives really, really well. There's various things that make that car drive well, but I think there's a way that infrastructure would serve a community of end users of technology.
Yeah. When you flip that light switch, you don't think about what's going on. It's on.
If you actually do that, it's a problem.
Well, I mean, every time we get a thunderstorm, our internet goes out.
Yes, University too, just.
I'm just curious about what's the process for CFEDC after an event like this, and how are you advocating? I mean, what is your process for advocating for changes that need to be made, or for getting information out to powers that need to,
This evening, as in the past, I think Bill is very good at asking pointed questions that we hope will result, or will sort of frame things in terms of the next action. And I think I've been trying to hear what is needed, and what might we work on. And, I mean, it's so funny, but John, you mentioned like a job where I think, well, gosh, there is something. I mean, is that really a need? I mean, what are the concrete things, the next steps? Because that's what we do want to frame things that way. And what have we talked about?
They're laying on the information kind of way.
That's
Well,
right.
and we can speak to a couple of some concrete things. Julie, using her journalism expertise, will be writing up these presents to put on the website so we capture the conversation. So it's not just about who's in this room, but it's always available as we're doing with the videos as well. So that's one important piece, is having the dialogue, bringing the folks together, having the conversation, and then everybody going out and continuing it. So that's one first piece of capturing information on the website that people have access to and can study this topic.
I have to go.
All right.
Yeah, I have another example.
The only thing I was going to say is I know the university has an annual, like some kind of an IT gathering or brings local IT folks.
Yeah, Winnix.
Yeah, I just wonder if that might be an opportunity.
I think that's one of the better examples. I was saying to Bill, he said, should our, let me say this. Here's the end of Act 1. If you would like to get before I answer, if you want to get a beer and some more snacks, please decide. It's been a long time. I want to answer that question, but feel free to get up and grab snacks and continue this conversation. I'm going to continue this conversation. But what I was saying to Bill was, and then thank you if you have to go, but I was saying to Bill, I was aware of a lot of these groups, and some of them, they start up and they go in and all of a sudden people don't come and it's over, and I think people supposed to do this thing. And I think that Winnix one is, that has been more, a longer life, it's been more successful. And we might do something, I think your question, Bill, is, technology.
Yeah.
Say that we have priority over the fire. The data pipeline. So I would say that the ministry of green meeting the attention of public agencies differently. I would say that we have much bigger priorities.
Thanks for coming.